This is the Gridiron Guys podcast with Anthony Stalter and Super Bowl champion Carey Davis.
Driven by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Welcome into the Gridiron Guys with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey and I just had a spirited conversation about a lot of things, and I think we're ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
After I turn on the mics, I open it up. Welcome in the Gridiron Guys.
Got to
turn on the microphone.
It works better if you hit that button.
Yeah, certainly. Two in this category. Carey Davis, Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, proud alum of the Illinois Fighting Illini, who will probably be looking for a new head coach soon.
That's how football goes.
Yeah.
In the words of Ron Washington.
Yes. Yeah, paraphrase, right? I'm Anthony Stalter. Covered the NFL for a long time, including for our station here at 101 ESPN and the Washington Post. So we do a lot of football here. So we normally, Carey, we normally look back, instant reactions. We're recording this on a Thursday, so
we're moving around.
We're not doing that. Yeah, we're not going to look back. We're going to look forward today. Right. And you know what? I would love to hear. We haven't opened things up to listeners. I would love to hear from you if you want to reach out at Anthony Stalter or
at Carey Davis 38 Carey.
You can tweet us and say, "Hey, I like this format better when you guys do some predictions as opposed to instant reactions." Love to hear from you because we don't know. What do you want? What do you want to hear from the Gridiron Guys?
And we're all for you all. We're here to give you info, but we want to know what you think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So today, we're going to look forward. We're going to do these predictions. We're going to go game by game, Carey, and we're going to give kind of instant takeaways on the matchup. We'll start off with the Thursday night game, and hopefully you listen to this before the game. But Broncos and Chiefs, I'm just going to look at it from a point spread standpoint, Carey. Denver's plus 10.5. I would take the 10.5.
Really?
The reason being, I know the Broncos are a mess. There's nothing I can say
I'm intrigued.
No amount of lipstick.
They're in Kansas City as well.
They're in Kansas City.
Okay.
No amount of lipstick can be applied to this pig to convince you that it's anything but a pig. But I will say this. Kansas City offensively, Travis Kelce's banged up. Mm-hmm. You could tell that with the way that they mix they pass the ball around to various, they carry Kadarius Stoney and Sky Moore and Rashee Rice. Maybe Rashee Rice winds up being a stud for them. He's a rookie, caught a touchdown pass last week in the win over Minnesota. But this is a team that's not really blowing teams out. And if you go back a year ago against Denver, who was also a mess last year, and they played them twice at the end of the year, once in December and once in January when Denver again
almost
stunk.
Beat them. Yeah,
Denver almost beat them.
Yeah, in Denver.
And they held new. I think Kansas City won by a field goal in Arrowhead when they were a 13.5-point favorite. It's a divisional game. You've talked about this a lot, Carey, and you're right about it. It's a divisional game. Two opponents that know each other well. I know the wheels are falling off for Denver. Kansas City defensively looks solid, but this is a lot of points for a short week. And again, Travis Kelce being banged up. So I look at this from a betting standpoint and say, I'll take the Broncos plus 10.5 in a game that I still clearly believe that the Chiefs are going to win.
So when I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and some of the issues that they're having, obviously you talked about Travis Kelce missing one game, getting banged up in the last game, trying to find who they're going to throw the ball to other than Kelce. They are running the ball a little bit better with Isaiah Pacheco, which I do like. But, Anthony, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the one that isn't there anymore in Eric Bieniemy. That, as much as we were confused, is he calling plays? Is Andy Reid calling plays? Who is actually the mastermind behind this offense? If you're looking at it now, you probably would say, without any doubt, Eric Bieniemy had a huge role, a huge part in what they did offensively, what they do offensively, and why they aren't as potent as they have been in the last few years. I think not having him there, him going over to Washington and running that offense, they are playing much better than you have seen in the past. And here we are, Kansas City, just kind of muddling along, figuring some things out as they go. They're going against the Denver Broncos tonight, and, you would think that because they aren't able to do as much offensively, maybe Denver has a chance. You like taking Denver and the points.
Yeah, give me 10.5. I don't like Denver. I just I like the 10.5 on a short week in a divisional game.
Can I tell you? No, thank you.
Sure.
Now
completely pass, or you're on Kansas City?
I don't want to take Denver to do anything.
Okay.
The Denver Broncos are allowing a whopping Well, they gave up 71 games, so I guess that helps.
Yeah.
36.2 points per game.
Yeah, worse than the NFL.
Worst in the NFL. So when you talk about how poor the Kansas City Chiefs are offensively, their defense is figuring some things out. But when you look at what the Denver Broncos have, defensively, a defense that last year actually, until late in the year, was averaging around 17 points, 18 points allowed per game.
Yeah.
Then they ended up around 23 or 24 allowed per game because they had one or two really bad games late in the season. This team stinks. And that's just being nice. That's the best way to put it.
Yep.
Yeah. They're giving up a lot of points. They're giving up a lot of yards. They aren't – I guess Russell Wilson is playing better to a degree.
Statistically, he's been fine, but if you watch the games, he's costing them constantly, including last week against the Jets.
The Broncos are allowing the most points per game, the most yards per game defensively, and they just aren't good offensively. There is nothing that, I guess, puts fear or strikes fear into you. And if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, Thursday night, short week, at home, you don't even let this be a close game.
So I know you rally against the analytics crowd a lot. This is where I'll rally against some of the quarterback statistic crowd, because some people will say, well, look at Russell Wilson's statistics compared to Patrick Mahomes' statistics, and they're kind of similar, and they are in certain categories. Watch the damn games.
It's empty calories.
Patrick Mahomes is winning games for Kansas City.
Yeah.
Look at the Jets.
Yeah.
Look at the same opponent. Patrick Mahomes, game on the line, closer game than everybody expected, and what does he do? He wins it for him.
Finishes it. I'm going to slide.
And sloppy game for him, but he wins it for him.
Right.
Denver, same situation, same opponent at home this time. And Russell Wilson literally coughs up the football and coughs up the game.
It's not. I'm surprised that you're a betting man. I'm surprised that you would bet on the Denver Broncos tonight at any point in life this year.
Hey. Take the number.
All right.
It's about the number.
We'll
not about
talk.
the team.
We'll see how that goes tonight.
I have the Chiefs, though, in our pick 'em pool. This is the London game.
Good. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I might be insane, but not that insane. All right, Ravens at 8:30. I'll just use Eastern time since I don't know how many people are listening in Eastern and all that. 9:30 Eastern time. Ravens and Titans on Sunday morning. It's another London game. The Ravens look like crap last week. It's not the offensive structure. It's Lamar. It is Lamar being careless. It is Lamar taking sacks. It is Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman and even Mark Andrews putting the ball on the ground. It's Odell Beckham Jr. with the laziest route on a fade that you'll see, allowed the cornerback to stay inside the inside hip and make an interception when the Ravens should have put that game away. The Steelers, give them credit for putting together one drive, but it was one drive, and that was it.
Just keep it close.
It was terrible last week. However, I look at this Titans team. This is the team that I have no idea. Like, this is the one that we kept. I don't know.
Right.
Explain the Titans. I don't know. But this is a game I think that the Ravens get right. Here's the deal with Tennessee. They stop the run. Mm-hmm. It's a pass funnel team. They funnel everything to the. Well, here's the Baltimore can't run a damn ball anyways. Right. I think Lamar comes alive. He hangs 300 on these fools with 3 touchdowns, and the Ravens win. Vrabel always keeps the game close, so I'm not going to say a blowout, but I think the Ravens cover the 4.
I'm surprised with Baltimore. You can pick on what Lamar did last week, but I saw a stat where it was 8 drop passes by the Ravens for about 170 yards.
It's
and
not just
potentially
Lamar.
3 touchdowns. Like you had 2 touchdowns. You had one dropped in the end zone that should have been caught. You had Bateman drop a go route that went right through his hands, and he walks into the end zone. I don't know how much blame you could place on Lamar, and I still do not know what this offense is. Like, I know they made the transition, brought Todd Monken in, and now they're supposed to be a little bit more explosive. I'm still waiting on that. I haven't seen it, and maybe it's due to the lack of the running game. Yeah. It might be all tied in. The inability to run the ball, the inability to catch the football. Zay Flowers was past the defense on one play, and he literally just fell down. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
And of course, I'm a Steelers fan, and I'm like, good for him, but geez, come on. You got to catch the ball. You have to help your quarterback out in those situations. And so I don't know who this Ravens team is either. You talk about you know who the Titans are. I don't know who the Ravens are either. They're 3-2. They're supposed to be leading the AFC North because of the injury to Cincinnati, because of the inability to play offense in Pittsburgh. They can't even play offense in Pittsburgh. We'll get to that at some point. Deshaun Watson has missed multiple games with injury and potentially is going to be out again this week. The Baltimore Ravens are supposed to be at the forefront of this division, and they're right there. Everyone's in the middle of the pack. They're all sitting there at 3-2 or 2-3. So yeah. I don't know who the Ravens are. I don't know who the Titans are. I don't know who the Ravens are, but I'm going to take the Ravens because they got a guy under center.
I'm with you on that. So moving on here, we'll get to you had mentioned the Browns. We don't know the status as of our recording whether or not Deshaun Watson's going to play, although the Browns open up as a 5-point underdog, and now that line's up to 7.5. If he doesn't play, that line's going to jump to 9.5, if not 10. So we'll have a pretty good idea. But the 49ers, Carey, I mean, 15 consecutive regular season games, tied for the longest win streak in franchise history, 8 straight games scoring at least 30 points. Brock Purdy's 10-0 as a starter in the regular season. I love this Niners team. I love them top to bottom.
Do too. And we spend so much time on Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. George Kittle scored 3 touchdowns last week. Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy, and Mr. Irrelevant. It's all a beautiful thing. Let's talk about the defense. Let's talk about how they get after the quarterback. Let's talk about Greenlaw, and let's talk about Fred Warner and Nick Bosa coming off of the edge. Let's give those guys some credit because this is the team right now. When you look at just a complete team, everything clicking on all cylinders, the only thing that can hurt this team going forward is an injury. Yeah. And you hope, you knock on wood, you hope everybody takes care of themselves, don't have anything pop up. They are playing at an extremely high level, going against a team in the Cleveland Browns. The fact that it's only 7.5 right now, with or without Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. Yeah. If the Broncos are at 10.5, come on. Now, I would at least say that they should be there for this game. The Browns should. And if Deshaun Watson does not play, this game is going to be over, similar to what you saw when the 49ers played the Cowboys last week. It'll be over by the third quarter.
Speaking of which, the Panthers are in Miami. The Dolphins are a 13.5-point favorite. I mean, the Dolphins, this is another game just similar to last week against the Giants, where as long as they don't beat themselves, and the Dolphins tried to beat themselves last week, Tua threw a pick. Right at the goal line, threw a pick six. It was a 107-yard touchdown return. It was the first time the Giants scored a touchdown in the first half this year. It came from a defensive interception when Miami was going in. Tua threw some uncharacteristic interceptions last week. I think they'll get that taken care of. The injury, though, to watch is this Devon Achane, who he got hurt last week. Achane provides yet another speed element to this offense that was outstanding, but he goes on IR. Raheem Mostert's going to be fine. He's got to stop fumbling, but he's going to be fine. Otherwise, this is going to be a blowout. Carolina cannot protect Bryce Young. He has not played well, but when you're getting your ass kicked up front, Carey, you know this. You're not going to be in many games, and they're not going to. Carolina's not going to be in this one either.
No, I don't think so. I think this is the Miami Dolphins are showing how well they can run an offense. Just look at we talked the last two teams we talked about, the 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. Offensively, Mike McDaniels came from San Francisco, learning under Kyle Shanahan. Now, I've told you Kyle Shanahan was a guy that I didn't think younger years was that spectacular. That has shifted. He is dynamic in calling plays. Mike McDaniels is dynamic in calling plays. The Miami Dolphins shift and motion about 3/4 of the time during the season. They have up until week 4. They are moving around so much, and what it does is, if one guy is here in one spot and now he's on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and what coverage are we in? How the hell do we know? Where is he going to end up? I don't know. I've seen plays where Tyreek is crouching behind the left tackle or the right tackle, hiding, darts out one way, ball is snapped. What do you do with that? Right. You have no answer for that defensively because all of the guys can run right past you. So if they can run past you, that means it's going to open your hips up, and then they can sit down and catch a pass with no one standing near them. It's so much easier when you got guys that can run and make plays, and that's what this Miami Dolphins team is. They are electric. They are fun to watch. I love offensive schemes and guys figuring out ways to get guys the ball. it's a beautiful thing to watch.
No doubt. All right, moving forward, Seahawks and Bengals. This one's pretty interesting. For the first time all season, Joe Burrow looked healthy last week. He was moving well. But I don't think it's automatic that Cincinnati is just in the driver's seat to come back in the AFC North. I think that there's still too many issues there with this Bengals team that, you know, I've been beating this drum since training camp. With something is off with Cincinnati. The Burrow injury certainly, but they lost. I've been a broken record with this. They lost a bunch of players defensively as they geared up to try to pay Joe Burrow, which they did. Mm-hmm. You know, T. Higgins is a little banged up. The only thing that gives me pause, I am going to take Seattle in an upset.
Really?
I'm going to take Seattle in an upset. They're coming off a bye. I'm not the biggest Seahawks believer because of that defense, but they can run the ball. They've got a monster on the outside in DK Metcalf. On the other side, Tyler Lockett is an outstanding, and I hate to call him a possession receiver, but you know he is somebody that can stretch a team vertically, or he could stretch that intermediate zone just a little bit. For Geno Smith, who's still playing well, I think Seattle goes into Cincinnati, pulls off the small upset. I'm not going to hop on. I'm not going to suddenly, after 1 week, say, problem solved for Cincinnati. I was wrong on it, and I know that's exactly where you're going, Carey.
I'm hopping on the board. I'm hopping on the Joe Burrow lid.
You and so many people chomping it. Just Bengals, show me something. Bengals, just show me something. I'll hop back on.
Hold on, I'm coming. No, don't leave me yet. I'm on my way. I am there because when I watched a healthy Joe Burrow, last week was the first week that he was not on the injury report, and you could see it.
He looked good.
Jamar Chase is a dynamic number one receiver. You get him the ball as many times as you can. I do agree with you. Losing Von Bell and losing Jesse Bates in the secondary has put a little bit of a burden and a stress on that defense, but they still got two guys that come off the edge and get after the quarterback, and Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson. I like what they are able to do.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with what I saw from the Cincinnati Bengals. And I do think, that AFC North division, they had 5 weeks to figure it out. And none of them said we want it. And Joe Burrow says, "Oh, all right, cool, thank you, appreciate y'all for looking out for me. I was hurt a little bit earlier, but I'm okay now. You guys can get on out the way."
Right.
That's what that feels like. I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals are getting right, and I took the Bengals to win this game versus Seattle. I know Seattle runs the ball well, but if it comes down to I'm taking Joe Burrow over Geno Smith every day of the week, and because I think he's going to make the better play when the time comes up, and so I'm going to take the Bengals in this one.
Saints and Texans. The Saints are laying 1.5 on the road. I like Houston, Carey. I like Houston in this game. New Orleans got a gift victory from a Patriots team that did everything possible to give it to them. I am not going to overlook the fact that Derek Carr, behind a bad offensive line, has not played well.
Yeah.
And again, it's not just Derek Carr, okay? But we love the fit. I did. I love Derek Carr finally gets a defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weapons.
And look at that offense stinks.
They do.
And I don't think 1 week in New England where they're a train wreck, suddenly you're cured, right?
New England turned the ball over enough for him to help him out as well.
Big time.
Yeah.
You know, the Saints are you and I, Carey. Men. The Saints are men.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Okay.
You and I get a little injury, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tweak the ankle, hamstring, wrist, whatever. We feel it for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't do a damn thing about it.
No.
One day we feel good, and we're like, cured, back. That's the Saints right now to me. Going to New England, it was one day where they felt good. And they're like, we're back. No, you're not.
Nah.
Houston's a good team. Houston, they lost last week in Atlanta on a last-second field goal. Credit, and we'll get to Atlanta. Credit Desmond Ridder. He showed up. But I think that Houston team is I think Houston's better than New Orleans. I'll say it. I think they're a better team right now than the New Orleans Saints. And C.J. Stroud, as a rookie, is playing better than Derek Carr, the longtime veteran.
I was going to say that they have a better quarterback right now than the Saints do. C.J. Stroud has been amazing this year. He's number 3 in total passing yards. And when you watch him play, he doesn't look rattled. He hasn't turned the ball over this season yet. He just looks like a guy that is extremely confident, understands what's coming at him, understands what he's seeing defensively, and is not bothered by it at all. And it's really impressive for this to be a rookie quarterback, because normally you're going to have a few guys, and especially a team that was drafting as high as they were. They weren't good last year.
You're
this
right.
was not a good team. They had the was it number 2 and 3 overall picks? Is
Yep.
that's not a good team, Anthony. It's a bad team. And
I
here
get it.
they are, able to have success in the manner in which they are. I picked the Saints in this game because at some point I go with track record. At some point, eventually, God willing, Derek Carr figures it out, and offensively, they can figure some things out, how to move the ball, how to get it to all of these guys, Olave, Kamara, Thomas. They got plenty of guys to get the ball to.
Yeah.
At some point, I would like to see it happen. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints in this game because I just think at the end of the day, the defense and what they have is to be just a little bit more than what Houston and C.J. Stroud will be able to do.
We got a couple differences here. We should see how we do here. So you have the Bengals, I have the Seahawks, I have the Texans, you have the Saints. And I don't know if you're on the Chiefs in terms of laying the points.
I got the Chiefs.
You're just anti Denver.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
We won't count that one.
Yeah.
The Vikings are laying 3 to the Bears, and I think the big question here. There's 2 questions. The one is obvious, which is okay. How the loss of Justin Jefferson,
Yes.
he goes on the IR. How does that impact Minnesota? That's the obvious question. I think the somewhat obvious question, but it almost kind of takes a back burner because of the Jefferson injury is, okay, Bears, all right, you look good against Denver offensively.
Mm-hmm.
You look great against Washington offensively, but those are 2 of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Minnesota isn't great either. So can you carry that momentum into this week and pull off a small upset at home and get yourself at 2-4, and you start to feel a little bit. I'm not calling them a wild card team or whatever. They're still bad, but at 2-4, you start to feel a little better about yourself and a lot better about Justin Fields.
So Anthony, in college, I went to University of Illinois.
I do.
We played on Saturdays, right? So on Sundays, we would have pretty much a scrimmage of all of the younger guys and some of the older guys that don't play, that aren't, either the red shirt guys or the older guys that aren't, they're third or fourth string.
Yeah.
Just getting the opportunity. We called it the Buster Bowl. Now, the Buster Bowl, I'm a proud member of the Buster Bowl. I was a Super Bowl champion. Everybody at some point played in the Buster Bowl. You had to. It was and everybody that played on Saturday, all your teammates got to come watch because it was a full live tackle to the ground, offense versus defense scrimmage, and we were trying to win.
You do this every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
That's awesome.
In college. That was our reward. If you're a red shirt freshman, you don't play on Saturday, you looking forward to the Buster Bowl. I got to show these people I can play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Buster Bowl moved up I-55 to Chicago from Champaign.
Man, you stuck that landing. I'm like, where's he going with this? I'm interested. I'm hanging on.
That's what we're going to be watching.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison has an opportunity to step up. Kirk Cousins.
And he's banged up too, right?
He's playing.
Yeah.
So, but what do you expect? How many? I don't know. Two bad teams. The Minnesota Vikings were a really good team last year, right? They won 11 games. They won 11 one-possession games. They are 1-3, 1-4 in this moment right now.
Yeah.
In all of their games this year have been one possession. They've only won one.
And they've shot themselves in the foot last week.
They turned the ball over.
They
gave the Chargers an opportunity when they didn't intercept the pass or knock it down. It's just everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. They're talking about trading their quarterback at some point, maybe to Atlanta, maybe to, I don't know, somewhere.
Yeah.
But everything for the Minnesota Vikings has gone bad. Now, on the flip side, Justin Fields has been playing really well. For the teams that he's played against the last couple of weeks, he's found something with DJ Moore. I'm not going to go too crazy about what I saw last week with DJ Moore because he had how many? I think he had 10 catches, 8 catches. 7 of them were hitches.
I think right.
7 of them were hitches and poor tackling, and the other 3 were go routes. So if you want me to be thrilled about a hitch and a go route and the quarterback connecting, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So I need to see more, more route combinations from what the Chicago Bears are going to bring. I don't know. I'm still going to take Minnesota in this game because I think they're the better team. I think they still have the better quarterback, even though Justin Jefferson isn't playing. I still like Minnesota a little bit more than I do Chicago.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Chicago. I'm going to take Chicago. I think that in a situation like this, I think Chicago's got a little momentum, got a couple of extra days to rest and prepare because they played on Thursday night last week. And like you said, Minnesota is just whatever could go wrong is going wrong for them, and they cannot stop turning the damn. I mean, the first play last week, they fumbled the damn ball.
They can't figure it out.
They cannot figure it out. They get into the red zone consistently and fumble or throw picks. It's been a disaster. And now you don't have your best player.
Everybody is taking turns too. Like T.J. Hockenson got a ball ripped away from him a couple weeks ago. Like, come on, man.
You're right. It's not just one player.
Everybody is taking turns putting the ball on the ground or putting it in other team's hands. If Minnesota wants to win, they have to eliminate that. But I still think they're the better team in this game than the Chicago Bears.
What do you think of Washington, Atlanta? Washington's.
No, I don't.
They're 2.5. That's fair. That's really fair. Washington's a 2.5-point underdog in Atlanta. Washington coming off that embarrassing performance against the team we just talked about, Chicago, and Atlanta won in a last-second field goal. Desmond Ridder, first time over 300 yards last week.
Are you buying it? Are you?
No. You're
a Falcons fan. So how do you feel about this? Because the NFC South is wide open as well.
Yeah,
no?
They're the only division with three teams above 500.
And Shaky Bakey is the quarterback of one of them. So you still got that going for you.
Yeah.
Atlanta has a chance. It's a slim chance, but they have a chance. I don't know. In this game, I still think I would probably take Washington. And Washington has lost some games that you lose to the Bears, you should have lost that game. Like I said, DJ Moore caught 7 hitches and 3 go routes, and the cornerback on 3 or 4 of those hitches just tried to dive and knock the ball out the air and didn't wrap up 15, 20, 40 yards. Those things, that can't happen. So, but I still do like what the Washington Commanders do, minus the Buffalo Bills game where they just stunk.
Yeah, I
think they're going to be okay, and I would go with them over the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not sold on the Falcons at all.
Well, I don't blame you on that. I will say this though, Carey. If you look at this objectively, like Desmond Ridder, I give that kid. I give the kid a lot of credit because everybody's calling for his benching after the London game against Jacksonville. So he's got to hear that all week. Him and Mac. I was going to say him and Mac Hollins got into it. It was just Mac Hollins ripping him on the sidelines the one time when Ridder went up to kind of like, hey, let's go here type thing. Mac Hollins just undressed them.
Didn't want to hear it.
Didn't want to hear it. So this guy gets beat up all week, and then against a pretty good Houston defense, he hangs 300 on him, and puts together a drive in which I don't think the ball hit the ground when they got into field goal range. So I think he's got a little grit to him. Washington is allowed, we were just talking about Denver, right? Mm-hmm. Washington is allowed at least 30 points in 4 straight games. Their defense, everybody keeps giving them credit. They're Chase Young, and that defense sucks.
They played really well against the Eagles, which is, I think, they got after the quarterback.
They're not good. We got to stop this and call it what it is. Washington, you can't allow 30 points a game and say, they're okay.
Defense are okay.
You're not.
Ron Rivera.
Meanwhile, let me just throw this out to you. 10 points, 24 points, 20 points, 23 points. One of them was a pick six in 19. That's what Atlanta's given up. Okay. Atlanta defensively has actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
With all the attention, of course, to Bijan Robinson and Ridder and, Kyle Pitts being a ghost because of Ridder, everybody's focused on Atlanta's offense. They spent a lot of money in the offseason to fix that defense, and the early results have been pretty good. I'm going to take the Falcons in this one, just take it with a grain of salt because I'm a bit of a homer, although I love to pick against them. I picked against them last week.
Did you?
Yep.
It didn't go well for me.
It didn't go well for me.
We're going to go opposite this way as well. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders on this one.
All right, moving forward here. Colts and Jaguars. I think Jacksonville is starting to figure things out. I think they had a huge advantage last week staying in London. Buffalo screwed up this. Buffalo screwed up this. They overthought it. But I do look at that offense. That offense is exciting when it's firing.
Yes.
And it didn't fire against Kansas City, and it didn't fire against Houston for whatever reason. But I think this is a matchup where Jacksonville, who had a lot of issues with Indy, comes to play, and this is another light bulb moment for them, and things start to click. I got Jacksonville.
I would have. So Jonathan Taylor coming back. He didn't have a big role last week. I think he's going to start ramping it up a little bit more. He got the new contract. He'll get more opportunities. Gardner Minshew is probably the best backup quarterback in all of the league. Anthony Richardson is going to be out in this game, obviously, because he hurt his shoulder, got hurt again, getting tackled. Gotta protect yourself.
It's not good,
big dog. You gotta make sure you get down and don't take unnecessary hits and don't get involved in that. I think I agree with you to the degree that Jacksonville did look like they figured something out. I still can't get that Titans loss out of my head though. Like that loss still permeates in my brain. Like why did you lose that game at home?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? So I want to take Jacksonville, but I think I'm going to take, because as I said, Gardner Minshew is not a downgrade at quarterback. He may be an upgrade over the rookie Anthony Richardson. I think I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts in that game.
Are you talking about the Houston game?
What game were we?
You said Tennessee, but
Texans. The
gotcha.
Texans game when they lost at home to the Texans.
They got taken behind the woodshed.
That one still sits with me. It doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah,
so
you're right. And if a team is willing to play like that, you know it's in there.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
there
feel
somewhere. So I didn't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. You lost at home to the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right.
I don't know. You're scaring me. So I think the Indianapolis Colts, they have pretty much their entire team minus the starting quarterback, who, again, Gardner Minshew is as capable as Anthony Richardson to lead a team.
So you're taking the Colts?
I'm taking the Colts.
You're taking the Colts outright, 4.5?
Yes, sir.
Wow, okay. Yeah, we can be opposite of that one. Here's one I think we're going to be opposite on, too. I know a lot of people are going to fight back on me, and I called them trash earlier in the podcast, so I could see why. This is a game.
I don't know which game you're looking at. There's
Can
only
you
a few
guess?
left. I hope. You know what? Go ahead. I have no clue.
I'm going to take the team that I said they were trash last week, and they were. But
Not
I'm going to take
New England Patriots.
I'm going to take the Patriots.
Oh, you are
I'm going to take the Patriots.
My God,
Josh McDaniels is not going to beat Bill Belichick. This is the circle the wagons moment for New England, who's not a good team.
They're terrible.
Not. They're not. They have no speed on either side of the ball. They can't run the ball somehow with Ramondre Stevenson.
You're going to be by yourself.
Mac Jones stinks. This makes no sense. The Raiders are coming off a win, but this is as much about this is what I would call a principle play for me. In principle, I cannot take the Raiders laying points against Belichick and the Patriots. I'm going to take the Patriots in a small upset.
You know, in Vegas they got a lot of buildings built for.
I'm aware
people,
of this
because
people
that choose things like this.
I know, Carey. I know.
Just wondering if you were maybe you weren't aware of how those massive buildings get built out there and all over the country. Yeah?
Give me the Pats.
Oh my goodness.
Bailey Zappe's going to come in the second quarter and light them up.
The starting quarterback has been benched the last 2 games, man, for the Patriots.
He's due.
It's the due factor.
He's due. I'm telling you, the Patriots are going to win this game.
There is nothing that makes me feel good about taking the Raiders other than they're not the Patriots.
It's like they're just a little better.
I'm taking the Raiders. That's it.
Lions and Bucks. I called Tampa Bay a candidate to earn the number 1 overall pick when you and I did our preseason predictions. I've been wrong on Tampa. The defense is way better than I thought. But Carey, at some point, the pumpkin or the carriage will turn back into a pumpkin. I've said this about Baker Mayfield for years now. When the expectations are low, Baker Mayfield is at his best. When nobody was watching yet at Oklahoma, he's beating Notre Dame and he's beating these other teams and he's running around the field. And then when people start to notice, you get a playoff game and he gets ass kicked. Cleveland, he comes in for Tyrod Taylor. Nobody's paying attention. He plays well. Expectations start to rise, and Baker's turning the ball over a lot in the fourth quarter. The expectations are going to slowly start to rise with Shaky Bakey. I think I do not see. I don't care how many times the team owner and the GM pontificate about how great Baker Mayfield is as a leader. I'm not talking about him as a leader. I'm talking about him as a quarterback. And I think this is the game the wheels fall off, and I'm going to take the Lions.
So we're going to go
legit.
I'm going to take
legit.
I agree. I will take the Lions as well on that one. We can agree on that one. But I think Baker Mayfield, first of all, shout out to Todd Bowles for figuring some things out because he was
dead man walking.
Yeah, buddy. It was getting a little warm down there in Tampa. I ain't talking about the weather. His seat was getting a little hot.
Yeah.
And so he's figured some things out, got a quarterback. I'm not as off of Baker Mayfield as you are. I think when you are a quarterback who was drafted, was it first overall? Was he first overall? You go in. You think the world kind of revolves around you, and you got kicked in the butt. You learned a lesson. You had to go to 2 different teams last year after you left Cleveland, and now you're on your 4th team. And so I think he's figured some things out in terms of how to be a better player, how to be a better person, and really has matured. So I'm confident that this Tampa Bay team is going to be really good, and they're my pick to win the NFC South because nobody wants to win it.
What are you talking about? The Saints and the Falcons have 3 wins, too.
Again,
nobody wants it. Carolina doesn't want to win it. But
Carolina's not going to win it, and neither are the Saints or the Falcons. So
it's like you came in here to hurt me today.
I still love you. We got to have hard truths in here, right?
Very true.
So Tampa, I think, is a really good team, but this Detroit Lions team, I love what Dan Campbell is doing. I love how they play. I love the enthusiasm, the aggression that they play with. They really take after their head coach, and so I'm going to go with Detroit in this game as well.
This is a good test for Ben Johnson's offense against Todd Bowles' defense because Todd Bowles can scheme them up defensively. Yeah. Cardinals and Rams, I'm gonna kind of keep this short and sweet. Arizona's +7. I'll take the points. Arizona's been in every game this year except for the San Francisco game, and the 49ers are my Super Bowl pick, so not a surprise there. They didn't cover last week against Cincinnati, but that score, that 34-20 score, is a bit misleading. Cincinnati, Arizona was driving with an opportunity to tie it, and I think Joshua Dobbs got picked off. He was either that or maybe it was a pick 6. I think Arizona stopped Cincinnati at the goal line, and then Josh Dobbs threw a pick 6, and the wheels kind of fell off. But otherwise, I thought Arizona actually played better than what the final score would indicate. This is a divisional game. Again, Arizona's been in every game. I'll take the 7 points. I think the Rams win, but I think that this is going to be maybe a 4-point game as opposed to 7+. I'm
going to take the Rams as well.
Rams to win.
Yeah, Rams to win. I like the Rams. They are surprising me. I didn't think they would play this well. They're playing really hard as well. So are the Arizona Cardinals. I just don't think they have enough. They are fighting their butts off in Arizona week after week to compete in games. They just don't have enough with them. They don't have enough to bring to the party. So I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. I think they're the better team, and I think they cover.
All right, moving forward here, we don't have to spend a lot of time on these Eagles and Jets. Eagles are only laying 7. I think that's because the Jets have. They're coming off a win, and they hung with Kansas City a couple of weeks ago as a home dog. But Eagles, too good, too strong, 5-0 right now, and I don't even think they've played their best football. But
I don't
give me
think
the
so
Eagles.
Either. Yeah, I'm with you.
You want to?
I'm taking the Eagles.
Okay. Giants, Bills, nothing to talk about here.
The Bills.
Yeah, nothing to talk about.
The Giants can't. They're
terrible.
They can't figure out how to block.
They can't block.
Yeah.
Their wide receivers, there's no separation. They can't run the ball. It's a disaster.
It's bad.
All the way through.
They have the same receiver. If you put...
carbon copy. You're right. Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton.
It's hard to tell who is who.
Jalen Hyatt.
They all look like the same person.
You're absolutely right.
And then you got Darren Waller, who you can't find a way to get him the ball.
No.
So I don't know.
Yeah, good thing you acquired him. Remember all that? How could the Raiders give him up?
Good job, Giants. You're going to be so explosive.
You're not. Monday Night Football game. Cowboys-Chargers. I think this is a circle the wagons moment for the Cowboys.
Really?
They were embarrassed last week. If you watch the shows, the Dallas fans are literally mopping up floors with Dak Prescott, using Dak Prescott's jersey. He was awful last week. It was a humbling moment for him. But here's the thing. I don't trust the Chargers. I don't trust Brandon Staley.
That's who you don't trust.
I don't trust their coaching staff. You're right. It's more about the Chargers and I love Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, you and I battled the one time about where to rank Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I love Justin Herbert. He cannot overcome the buffoons that are running things there. Brandon Staley is going to make a bad decision in a game that's going to cost them He has done it every time since last year when he played Mike Williams in a meaningless game and Duke got hurt again.
Yes.
Give me Dallas on the road. Circle the wagons.
I'm gonna. I see what you did there. I think they are. I didn't like what I saw from Dallas last week.
How could you?
Nothing about it gave me any form of hope that this team was going to be anything other than 9-8.
They're good.
10.
They're good. They're not great.
They're not great. 10-7 maybe, but 9-8 possibly. I'm going to go to Chargers here, and I'm going to pose something for the Chargers. You know, they can take it or not. You can keep it. You don't have to use it. You can use it if you want to.
All right.
Third quarter, fourth quarter-ish, find a chair, find some rope, take the headsets off, put Brandon Staley there, and let him sit there and watch the game.
You sit here.
Don't move.
Don't move. Yeah.
You do that, you win the game.
Give me my headset at least. No. Smash the headset.
If you do that, I still think that all jokes aside, I think the Chargers are the better team. They're coming off a bye week. I think they have an opportunity to get healthy. Mike Williams obviously out for the year, but they got some time to figure some things out. I like Justin Herbert a lot. And when I watched the Cowboys last week, I have no reason to think that they have anything inside of them to win this game in Los Angeles this weekend.
Yeah, Dallas, you're absolutely right. There was nothing to like last week.
No.
If they can't run the ball, they're in trouble. I think they'll run the ball fine against the Chargers on Monday.
We'll see.
Tony Pollard was completely taken out of that game because he fell behind early and all that.
They got the ball punched out. Like
it was terrible.
San Francisco was bullied them.
Yes.
Early and often.
To me, that was more about San Francisco than Dallas.
Yeah.
I think Dallas has always been what they are.
They showed a window into who they are.
True.
For me.
But
I got a peek behind the curtain when I saw that game against San Francisco. They didn't compete enough for me.
No.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers can take it to them this weekend.
All right, that'll do it. Gridiron guys. All right, we made some predictions this week. That was fun. I don't know what's more. I mean, Carey, doing the podcast is fun with you, but I don't know if I feel like you and I were disagreeing a lot more.
We had a lot of different choices.
Maybe we'll do prediction. Okay, so I wanna pay this off. All right, Carey.
Okay.
So, what were the games we disagreed on? Falcons, Commanders.
Yes, I got the Commanders.
I got the Falcons.
Yep.
We disagreed on Vikings, Bears.
Yep,
I got the Bears.
Yep.
So that's 2. We disagreed on Jaguars, Colts. I've got the Jags. You took the Colts outright.
I took the Colts,
because I even asked. I'm like, wait a minute.
I did take the Colts.
Okay. We disagreed on Bengals, Seahawks.
Yeah, you took the Seahawks.
I took the Seahawks.
I don't know why you did that.
We disagreed on. I'm going to jump over that. We disagreed on Saints and Colts, or Saints and Texans. Excuse me. I took the Texans.
I took the Saints.
So that's 5.
Okay.
We disagreed on Patriots, Raiders.
Yeah, we should never have disagreed on that.
That's
one.
my best play of the week. Patriots. I'm telling you right now.
Oh my God.
That's 6. And then we disagreed on Cowboys, Chargers. I got the boys. You got the Bolts. So that's 7.
7 games.
7 games.
Maybe, so I like
we're gonna have a winner next week.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a winner. We're gonna have a loser at 7. So maybe we'll do this moving forward here. But again, tweet us if you feel like you like this format a lot better than our instant reactions. Great. Again, give us a tweet, and we'd love to hear from you. For Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. We'll see you next time on Gridiron Guys.
Thanks for listening to the Gridiron Guys podcast with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis and Anthony Stalter.
Driven by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Check out the Gridiron Guys podcast page at 101ESPN.com.